Great morning, everyone, and as to be expected, there's a lot of news to be taken and being talked about today. And as you can see on the thumbnail, well, seems like the reserve is starting to move. Shout out to Texas. Texas is spearheading this setup, so we'll take a look at what's going on. Also, a great shout out to everybody in here. I see Alexander G. What's up, Alexander G? La Reina del Sur. What's up, the Mud Queen? We also have Week's Wife. What is up, Week's Wife? Great to see you here in the chat. We also have, oh, by the way, we have an early watcher here, Robert Mulligan. So shout out for his first comment here. I sent him over to Alex Crypto in the meantime. And then the next comment was from username Rips. What's up, username? Welcome, my friend. Great to have you around. Also, all said, what's up? We have Alexander G. Raisin, what's up? Good morning. We also have in Donato Cabrera. What is up, brother? We also have Robert. I think I'm repeating myself here. Trading Tuition. Week's Wife, of course. Who else? Jesse Gellick. What's up? Ninja Glock. What is up? Glock. Welcome. Emma Coiner. What is up, Emma? Such an honor to have you here. Great to have you also hanging around with us. And I did not look at that when I look at the comments. I'm actually looking at the comments right here on the camera. That's neat. Am I? I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's it. All right, guys, let's take a look. Amy, what is up? Amy leaves crypto in the chat. Welcome, Amy. Long time to see. Great to have you around. I love your content. By the way, guys, if you're not following Amy leaves crypto, you are missing out. Great content, great videos. I think her skill, other than being a genius, it is making amazing looking and informative videos. I love her style. So go ahead, click on her name and click that follow button. So let's go into the news, because we have not that many news, but we have one important news which might be spearheaded the new Bitcoin reserve. That could be maybe at, hey, let's put some pressure here. Let's start getting it rolling, and we'll see how that plays out. Also, calendar might be exciting for tomorrow, and for Bitcoin, we are basically tracking the movement that we expected. This and more on the next segment. Let's hit it. Alright, let's get started with Buck. What's up, brother? Welcome. Museum of Corruption. Welcome, my friend. Hey, you got that coffee? I also have my coffee. Thanks, by the way, for reminding me, because this is, man, I'm lacking of coffee today. Just had a bunch of, well, you might not like it, a bunch of orange juice with actual coffee in it. But I think it's time for my secondary morning coffee. Give me a second here. Oh, great. It's always amazing to have that sip of coffee. You need that, let that sink in, right? So, by the way, let's take a look at Bitcoin in here daily. We were talking about this big trend line that we had going on. We had that big movement, pump and dump in a single candle, pump and a single candle dump. Basically, just not making a good impression there. Still making higher highs on the daily. Here we go. So even in the 4 hours. So we're going to impact into the dynamic reactor. As you can see, we've been just trying to push up above, right? Something important that is playing out this moment, it is a prime score. We're back at 3, so I want to see this going at 4, maybe having to or trying to have another push to the upside. I do want to see a rejection here. And why is that? Because I want to see structure on the breakout, all right? I just don't want a breakout to be just because, right? Just because we just break out and off we go, right? I want to see something being built up here. In fact, let me tell you what I would like to see. This is what I expect to happen, all right? We've been talking about this, and this is basically a copy of the candles from the previous cycle 2021. Let's do a quick reminder. Here we go. So as you can see, I just copy these candles right down here and then paste them over there. So remember at this point, because of the volume that we're seeing on influx on Bitcoin or its market cap, where we have right now the ETF and institutional money acting upon the price action, I do expect cycles or longer cycles, much more volatility, as we also spoke with the comparison with other cycles in the past. As we see a bump on market cap, we also see a larger range, a larger breakout, in a larger movement in the traditional charts. Sound check. Mic check. All right, so my mic, not. Oh, thank you for that, guys. So sorry for that. Jesse Cook, thank you so much for that notice. Let me reboot my mic and I'll be back with you guys in a second. Seems like I'm underwater. Testing. Seems like we're back. Noise cancellation looking good. Let me hear me back on the stream. Can you guys confirm that we are doing great, or that it sounds better at least? No, it's not. Testing. I'll check. We fixed it, maybe. I think at the end of there, it did sound better. Seems like the noise cancellation is doing the whole weird stuff. Let's see. Better. All right, maybe we got it much better right now. Let's see. Final test. Perfect. It seems like it is up and running. Waiting for that delay, so sorry for that. All right, perfect. Seems like we are up and running. Thank you guys so much for letting me know. Sorry, I never noticed that. Right now, the chat is a little bit small, so I need to go back and forth between my screens. Still getting used to it. So, guys, thank you so much. Buck in the house, Jesse Gluck, thank you so much for that super chat and also that notice. So sorry, guys, that I did not looked at it before. Was just concentrating on the charts, but yeah, I need to start, bringing up my ninja qualities maybe. So a quick reminder, click that like button and maybe my microphone will not be failing on me next time. So let's take a look at what I was saying here. Remember, I do think that we could be repeating the same of 2021 cycle, basically going for a little bit of a wrenching here. But also, I was telling you guys that I don't want to see a complete breakout right now. I do want to see a rejection. Why is that? Let me hide for a second what we have in here. We have two big wicks around here. Right down here. There we go. First week, second week. That is purchasing power. That is absorption zones. Basically, when Bitcoin gets to those zones, it gets bought up fast and hard, right? Another thing that I do see is the True 7 pushing up, but what I don't see at this point, it is something like we can see right there, or what we can see in here. What is it? Maybe a double bottom. I just don't see the next big downwards. So let me start drawing it for you guys for a second, so we can start looking for that structure that I'm talking about. So let's hide this also for a minute. There we go. And I want to see a rejection, all right? Then I want to see either a higher high, all right? Why? Because that is a structure that from a bullish trend, right? Remember, a bullish trend does higher highs and higher lows, while bearish trend does
lower highs and lower lows, right? And where do they change? Well, they change when we start having this kind of movement where the last low and it's followed for a either higher low or a higher high. So far, is this a higher high? Hard to be said, right? Why? Because we had a ginormous area here that it was taking over, right? So what I would like to see, it is basically taking that 50% of the actual drop, then going back to create a higher low, and then going back up to be taking the previous highs or at least the next round up, right? So breakout, retest, off we go, then major retracement, maybe making a head and shoulders fake out, and then finally pushing upwards to, to be taking the next, the previous higher highs, all right? So this is the structure that I would like to see at this point. All right, is this what I will be betting my money on? Of course not. Well, maybe here. I will be waiting for that low, all right? I mean, absolutely there. The rest of it needs to be taken piece by piece, just like a cake, because if you start eating that cake all at once, man, let me tell you by experience that that is not fun. It's fun on the way in, not fun on the way out. All right, so what we got in the chat? Too quiet. Still too quiet, guys? Please let me know. Is it too quiet? I don't know if you can maybe, I'm using the same volume, maybe. All right, is this better? I just also don't want to start clipping here. Let me know, guys. So, Ars Miller, what's up, brother? Let me know if that is better. All right, going forwards, good morning, Pipes. Good morning, Randy, welcome. So let's move on into something a little bit interesting here. Let's go into the news, and also let's get started looking at what happened to the trades that we gave out yesterday. By the way, spoiler alert, we nailed 2 out of 3, so not bad, not bad. And the third one, it was not even a stop down. It was actually not getting to the point, so we missed that movement. That's fine, sometimes that happens. All right, let's go into the news because we have a lot of things to talk about. First, let's take a look at liquidations. Liquidations are not looking as bad as yesterday. Of course, they are not, right? I mean, with this, before the previous dump, or after the previous dump, we have a stabilization of the markets. Right now, we're just looking at a 210 million liquidation for the long side, and for the short side, 225. So they're liquidating more shorts than longs, and that's to be expected for that bounce up. All right, so let's get it here. Something interesting, Justin, Robinhood list ARB. We'll take a look at ARB in a second, so let's go ahead and bring it up so we have it on right here, ready to go. So ARB, we'll see how that plays out. All right, so, but I don't think there's gonna be much of a change, but we'll see. So ARB, then also Justin, 90K Bitcoin, and President Trump, and this is important, President Trump reveals Bitcoin reserve strategy at the White Hat Crypto Summit this Friday. So we'll see. This Friday will be pretty exciting. Let's even hit that like button here, and then we'll take a look at what's up next, because Texas, you're doing it right, buddy. Breaking, Commerce Secretary Lundnick says to expect an announcement this afternoon on Canada, expects an announcement this afternoon on Canada and Mexico. Remember, yesterday we were talking about the tariff, right? Remember, tariffs everywhere. Well, seems like our presidency, it is planning to do a response. We still don't know yet. We'll see how that develops. But the important part in here, it is that China, it is planning to apply some retaliatory measurements there, and also it has stated that if the US is what it wants, well, then a commercial war might get started. All right, so we need to have our eye peels, because this thing is gonna get excited for us trading, but also not that exciting for us buying and selling goods. All right, so we'll need to be on top of it. Don't worry, we'll get you through the news, and we'll also try to mitigate with trades within this space. All right. So breaking, President Donald Trump has cut off intelligence sharing with Ukraine in a move to that could seriously hamper the Ukrainian military ability to target Russian forces. This also might be bringing a couple of things around. Remember that at this point, what we got on Ukraine was a deal that was not signed, which was basically mining of rare earth metals and also their resources. So that could be a point of breaking here. Breaking also, Donald Trump will announce impose reciprocal tariff on current countries who impose tariff on the U.S. per Fox News. Trump is expected to say, whatever they tariff U.S., we tariff them, per Fox News. So we'll see. Once again, the tariff war is not over. Everything is getting a little bit hot at this side, so we need to start looking what might be coming up. All right, so Justin, and this is what it got me very, very excited. This was 2 hours ago. Texas strategic Bitcoin reserve bill has been placed on notice of intent today. Guys, that is important. That is important because that means the NOI on that means that the bill is actually moving. Does it means that this is gonna be an actual improvement? Not of course not. But it's more than just bureaucracy, right? I mean, it's a sign that the bill is moving forward. However, this does not guarantee that the bill will pass, right? What we were talking about, it's just a mean that the lawmakers are getting ready to formally debate, amend, or vote on it. So, guys, I don't know. Is this being pressured for the U.S. government? U.S. government or federal government is also talking about the reserve, right? We also hear about the crypto reserve, not just the Bitcoin reserve. But at this point, we're hearing more about Bitcoin. Is it like, I don't know, maybe giving a hint like, hey, President, I think this is the way and we're going to be pushing through it? I don't know. Feels like it, you know, like that political movement when maybe you try to say something and they ignore you, because that happens a lot in politics. Believe me, this is gonna be one of those trust me, bro thing, right? That I'm gonna be telling you guys. But yeah. Buck says Texas is awesome. Shout out. Absolutely. Yeah. So what's going on in here? Well, when you start using your power as your power of influence when you are in politics, right? So what you do, remember that every politician usually has a certain amount of power level on communication. So whatever they do and they say, if the people reacts enough to it, well, then it gets noticed. And once that happens, depending on how their relationship or party they are related to the presidency or to the federal party at the power at the moment, well, then they either are being forced to agree, right, or to sort it around. Although we know that Trump, it is a little bit more of a straight up like comment when he has an opinion, right? We'll see how that plays out. But I think it's in synchrony and in tone with what we want to see with Bitcoin spearheading their reserve, right? What is this important? This is important first because could be legitimate size. Make it legit. Sorry for that. Bitcoin as a state-backed financial assets, something like what bankers do with gold, right? Influence on other states. So if we start seeing Texas spearheads this, maybe some other states that have a hyper crypto voters, well, then they will also be a little bit more happy. They start liking their party or their governor or whoever is in office a little bit better, and that pushes forward with it. So the more states we get involved, well, then the greater the pressure to the federal or the federation that we're going to be having on the states, right? And also it brings up the chat for regulatory questions, right? And regulatory bills that will need to be passed in order for Bitcoin to become that reserve, right? And despite I just don't like regulations in Bitcoin, that's what we need, right? And it's not that we actually need it. It's just that, let's be real for a second here. Most of the people, and I'm talking worldwide, does not know how to handle free money. I mean, and you see that on, I mean, you see that in every, if you have a business, you see that over and over and over, right? If you see just comments on, I don't know, Amazon or something like that, you'll also see the comments how they misspend their money, and then they want their institution or their financial institution to go after it, right? And they wanted to get it solved for them, which in one way is not bad because you're having somebody to fight for you. But in the other way, well, free money or freedom money comes with a big responsibility from the end user, because once you send it, that's it, man. That's it. And yeah, because as a society, as a planet, as a globalized planet, we just know how to handle free money. That is the truth. That is the truth, right? So regulations, it is an important part on the next step of seeing this bill pass. Is it going to pass? I don't think so. I just don't think so. But we'll see how that impacts next, also based on what kind of news we had tomorrow, because tomorrow we have some big numbers coming up. We'll see how that plays out and rolls on. All right, so we'll see. Let's move into the next here. We have a couple of stories here. Let me just bring up with them, let's say some of the most interesting ones, which is the co-founder, Braidchain co-founder, regrets selling too many BERA tokens versus VCs, and it's working on buying back. I don't know. The tokens, yeah, he might be just have screwed out a little bit here, but still, remember, we're aiming after Bitcoin, not that much on those crypto assets. Remember what we talked about yesterday? Assets or crypto tokens from famous people are starting to trickle down. Not good, not good. We'll see how that plays out. Something that I don't like, of course, but it's not much of a, I will say not much of a, nothing to be scared of, but to be warned, right? It's in the same line with be cautious in the crypto markets. It is trading volume on PUMP.FUN, a leading Solana-based token launchpad, plugged 63% in plunged 63% in February following a string of high profile meme coin scams. Not good, telling you guys, that have eroded investors' confidence. Of course it have. But I mean, we also need to understand that at this point, I will say that the biggest weakness on Solana is just not the lack of advancing and providing with the updates that the team has scheduled. So they've always been a little bit behind schedule, but also the amount of meme coins that we've seen in this environment. So I mean, I'm not against Solana. I like Solana. I trade Solana. I hold Solana. But so far, I'm just keeping my bags very low, because until we see a change of this, well, I think that we're going to be seeing more and more of this, and this could have a snowball effect on the bad name for Solana. Going into the economical events, here we go. This is going to be interesting. Why? Because we can start tidying up stuff that is happening in the market with what might happen tomorrow. All right, so for today, we're going to be having ISM service, PMI, but we'll see. I think that tomorrow it's going to be the big data, non-farm payrolls. That's going to be a good one. Unemployment rates, which, by the way, I have it pulled up in here, and we're looking to maybe predict a lower unemployment rate. So possible forecast a 4%. By the way, we have it right here, which is going to be, if we get there, a lowest that we have had so far. And also Fed Chair Powell's speech. We'll see, because when Powell talks, Bitcoin moves. So, by the way, something interesting that Alex out Crypto brought up to my attention, and I never knew about it. It was the conspiracy of when he coughed. So when he coughed, there was like a little something moving in the markets. And well, I guess we'll have to confirm that in the next speech. So tomorrow, 11 a.m., we'll see if that plays out. So as we were speaking, the U.S. unemployment rate dips by 0.1 percent points to 0.4% in January 2025, making it the lowest level since May. So if we just take that look at this as a chart, we'll see the downtrend coming in here. So hopefully we can have a better number coming, or at least staying in the 4%. Remember that we have a 4% forecast for this upcoming or tomorrow's setup. Let's go into the altcoins here, guys. So let me know, guys, whatever you want me to take a look at on the altcoin side. But so far, let's get started with XRP. Guys, we gave this entry. Just so you know, I'm not trading at this point, neither XRP nor Solana, but the entry was spot on. Look at that. We went into it, right? Look at that, almost precisely. Look at that, to the cent. Going up, TP number one, taken 1, 2, 3 times. This is the time, and we gave this call yesterday, guys, all right? This is the time where we need to start moving our stop to entry. You already should have been taken whatever percent. I usually take 50% out, right, of whatever it's in here, which is the full position, then 50% out of whatever is still there, which is usually 25% of the full position, and then I trail it all the way to my next target. So far, so good. If you're looking to re-enter at this trade, I would not be recommending that, especially because we are making a range. We're not up ranging, we're not down ranging, we're just making a fat pause in here, which could be turning into, you guessed it, a bar Simpson, or at least a visit to our previous trend line down here. All right, so we have a support right there, we have a trend line. So possibly we could be looking at this area as we have, once again, flip of the ribbon. I need to see that flip of the ribbon, but I don't think that we're going to get it. We have right here, well, we're going to get the flip of the ribbon, but I think it's going to be farther down, somewhere out around our entry point, and that is because look at our prime score, very bearish at this point. We're crossing below the zero line in here. We have a crossover of VWAP, and we also have a peak seeker. So be careful. Hopefully you have taken your money and run away with it, because remember, if you don't take that money for yourself, nobody's going to take it for you. They're going to take it from you. All right, let's take a look at Solana. Solana, man, what an entry. What an entry right there. By the way, I did not trade it. I set up my alerts. Again, I'm not trading altcoins at this point. I'm waiting for Bitcoin to start confirming a trend or a continuation to make some structure, as we talked about at the beginning of the class. All right, before I start pushing up with altcoin trading. We traded together altcoins right before the dump, and we were talking about Bitcoin is going to dump. Most likely the worst case scenario, Bitcoin is going to dump. Worst case scenario, Bitcoin is going to dump, and it dumped. All right, so what we did with our gains on altcoins, we are making an influx on it, on Bitcoin, as we try to buy the dip. So far, just not to lose sight of what's going on, all right? Let me bring up my charts once again. Here we go. And I want to look at Bitcoin. So let's do it. Not to lose sight of what's going on again, all right? Because if you're just joining, maybe this is not making too much sense, all right? So this is what we got so far, all right? What was I talking about today? That I don't want to see a breakout just now, especially not in the lower time frames. Why is that? Because I want to see structure in the market. Let me go. There we go. This is the structure that I want to see. I want to start forming higher highs and higher lows, and then break out the previous trend line. All right. Do we have maybe the means to do so? Let's bring up our indicators in here. All right. Let's see. There we go. I think this is going to be it. So we are between the golden line and also the center line, the mirror line. All right, so do we have the means to be bouncing in here? Of course we have. Something also that is pushing up in the interesting zone is that our oscillator is turning green, it is not a guarantee that we're gonna be pushing upwards to make a breakout. Of course, as we have seen here, being below the zero line, it is the major point of influx. All right. So basically, if we are still below the zero line, it's not time to be. It's not the time to be longing. All right. But having a green setup here, having a reversal, having an oversold point here, and making and seeing it trying to do multiple breakouts to the outside gives me the hope that we could be seeing, and let me just push it all the way here. There we go. The next visit somewhere around 93. All right. So this could be a good rest of the week if we are able to trade this volatility, as long as we are making higher highs, right? And then do expect, guys, remember, I'm telling you not right now, do expect another pullback, right? Pullback at least somewhere around the 85 to 85,500, right? So somewhere around these areas. And why is that? Because it gets in line with how we are, look at that, going upwards with these candles. All right, so let's just start erasing this spaghetti. Too early for spaghetti, right? So that's what we got on Bitcoin. And to connect it to the altcoins until I see Bitcoin pushing back upwards. If that happens, I'm going to start trading altcoins right there. Alt. Why? Because I know now we have a real chance to start pushing upwards. We are forming not only higher highs, but also we are making a symmetrical triangle. I know it's 50-50, but usually symmetrical triangle before a movement to the downside, it's a good sign for a possible reversal. And the next thing that we will need to see, it is that volume influx. So Solana doing it fantastic. XRP, we did it fantastic in XRP. Ethereum, as we talk about our gains, we also talk about our failures. This is not a failure per se. We just did not hit on the actual zone, right? Remember, we were telling you this is the next area of confluence, but because Bitcoin is looking a little bit bearish, I'm going to be aiming for the better zone right here to try to catch a much better area. And why is that? Because F Ethereum, help me out there. F Ethereum, press an F if you also F hate Ethereum. Show me the love there. All right. Other than that, we'll see. At this point, we're still making lower lows. All right. The important thing here is to read the charts and the structure. What am I telling you guys about this? Because look at first how big of a dip we're having. All right. And then we have a major bounce to the upside right there. All right. So once we start seeing that major bounce to the upside, yes, it's nothing to be so excited, especially since it was a pump and dump. But we're not finding a very dramatic next low. All right. We're finding a shorter low right here and not too far away. Mike Play, shout out to you, brother. F Ethereum, there you go. Shout out, my friend. So at this point, is this a sweep of the lows? Is this a double bottom? Is this a swing failure pattern? I think that we could be looking at it. Ethereum says, Alexandra, up and down, pump and dump. Yes. So what could we be now expecting? We already have the means to start looking at something. Another thing that I talked about yesterday, remember the third one is the charm. Remember that phrase? Well, first YCAF pattern. All right. And break down. Second YCAF pattern. Break down. Well, then, if we are able to make at least a little bit of a range, we're going to have the third one and most likely last one with possible a fake out in here, which is going to be the spring, and then push through the upside as we break throughout our dynamic reactor, right? So hopefully we do something like this with a fake out here, right below the little range that we could be forming, and then a reversal right there. So it could actually be happening faster. We could even be seeing something like this. And why is that? That is because, there we go. But that is because we're building up some bullish pressure here, right? We see volume or at least momentum start building up, right? So higher lows and higher highs, all right? You see that? And then we start seeing here lower lows and lower highs, but also we start seeing those spikes, all right? So that is building up that pressure. I would say that sooner or later we're gonna be seeing that reaction. Bullish or bearish on Bitcoin? Sorry, on Ethereum, I'm still bearish. I'm not gonna be trading it to the upside until I see the breakout of the trend line, the retest, and then the volume staying above the zero line with now the bounces also above the zero line, all right? So far, I'm still on the wait. I'm gonna keep my alert being plugged in here and ready to go. I want to visit a couple of other things that we've been also looking at, for example, virtual pipe and Solana. Guys, this is the time for you guys to show me or share with me what you want me to chart in here. ADA says, Amy, let's take a look at ADA then. And then we move with the rest of these coins. So let's change this one. Let's start with ADA here. So by the way, I'm not trading ADA at this point. It's looking way better than I would be expecting, but still on a, on a downtrend still. Why I do believe that we're still in a downtrend, or at least not breaking bullish. Look at the previous highs in here. Let me just remove everything here. All right, let's make it clear. So let's do the horizontal here, resistance at the previous high. We technically broke it. But having something technical doesn't really mean that it's going to hold, right? And we saw it here because we had a big push, and then everything that they gained, or almost everything that they gained, they give it away, right? So we're starting back at a breakout retest, and off we go. But even here on the way up, we're having an indecision candle. All right, so let's go maybe to lower time frames. Maybe daily is a little bit too constraining here. Okay, in the 4-hour time frames, we're seeing the same thing that we talked about yesterday. And let me see if I can just bring it back because that was a good information here. Let me see before I remove. There we go. So let's go to the 4 hours and let's zoom out. In here, remember that I was expecting a formation. Remember that? What kind of formation? Maybe a bull flag in here and then waiting for the breakout retest. All right, this was the bull flag that I might be expecting. What is happening right now is not an actual bull flag, but a symmetrical triangle. I would love to say a pennant, but it's not. Let's start measuring from what we got so far, all right? This is too early to call this a final pattern. And remember, as we have more price action, we're going to be confirming or denying the analysis. Here we go. We have a symmetrical triangle on the 4 hours. So what we do, we trade the inside of the symmetrical triangle. We long the bottom, we short the top. We are too close to a possible breakout. All right. And also we could be into a range. How can we tell? We don't really can tell at this point. It's a bummer. Yes, it is a bummer. But based on the information that we got, we have, or we can start building up a plan. All right. What kind of plan? Well, then let's get started with our oscillator then. We'll see. Do we have volume? Are we bullish? Are we bearish? Where is it the momentum pointing at, right? So all of those questions should be answered in order for us to start building that pattern or that that plan, right? So playing plan. So basically, we're still above the zero line. We're bullish. Our prime score is very high. Our consolidation score is very low. So we are still bullish. Where do we long on a bullish trend? We long at the retracements, all right, at the support. So now is the time to start bringing up our big guns. Shout out to Chart Prime here, big sponsor of the channel. And we'll see that we have right here, right down here, our quantum reactor. What is that quantum reactor going to? Well, then it goes here below, maybe adding it to the regular reactor, right? To the dynamic reactor. Just in case you're wondering, we have dynamic reactor, volume reactor, and quantum reactor. Right now, we're looking at dynamic reactor and quantum reactor mashing up together here to give you that possible next support, all right? So what then? What else then? So I need to see either flip of the ribbon or fake out and flip of the ribbon. At where? At support. All right, let's see if we have some other sort of support in here before we call this up. Yep, we have double lines in here for support. Very strong zone. All right, we start building it up. What else do we have there? Not much at that point. Oh, a loud order block again in the same area. See how things start building up. All right, so maybe we can start looking for a long position somewhere around, let's call here, somewhere around 0.76-ish, something like that, all right? Guys, this is not a financial advice, all right? I'm going to be stating what I stated in the first place, that I'm not trading altcoins until I see the pattern being formed on Bitcoin. Why? Because we might see much more volatility. Despite technicals pointing at something, a little bit of manipulation might be changing the path of these coins, all right? Let's see, what else do we have in line, guys? ADA, HBAR. Perfect. Let's take a look at HBAR then. HBAR. Perfect. It seems like we have an ongoing analysis. All right. So this is something interesting. This is on the 15 minutes. Let's stick with the 15 minutes. Why? This is the perfect example, guys. I think this is a great opportunity to start learning. All right. Let's first turn off our indicators right now, and we'll see how that perspective changes. All right. First of all, zoom out. Bull trend, breakout, pullback, or retest, and that is giving you a lower high, which means this is the end of your trend. This is a confirmation of your new trend, which is bearish. Shorted, off we go. All right. High. Then what else? Well, we're starting to form. Let me make it a little bit more professional so you can see it. Let me also zoom in here. All right. Let's add a line, a trend line here. There we go. Right. And what are we expecting? The same thing that we're expecting on Bitcoin. Remember? The breakout or the try to break out. And I told you, I don't want to see it breaking just now. I want to see that retracement. And then when I see that retracement, then I want to see the breakout and a retest, all right? So the same pattern that we're looking for Bitcoin, it's happening here on HBAR. What's next? Putting up a higher high, a higher low, right? Your confirmation for your long, and off you go with your long. Let's call for a trend line right here because we can do multiple trend lines based on this structure here. We can call for that one, or we can even call for this one here. This is important. Why? Because we can have a trend within a trend, all right? So here's where classical theories start feeling, because it's not, start feeling that it's coming to a short end, right? But it's not, because if you dig a little bit more, you'll see that we have the next point, and then we are lacking of confirmation. Let me explain to you why very first. So we have higher lows, right? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and then we have a breakout. What am I missing? The retest, right? We are missing the retest. Why? Because just like in here, making the lower high, which is called a what? A dead cat bounce, right? So if I reject from this area, I could be shorting from here, and look at that, I am below the zero line, so I could be looking for this or for something like that maybe, all right? So let me just change this, there we go, or something like that. Again, I'm not saying that this is my primary analysis. This is the first steps of my analysis. And then what? Well, then maybe because we have this secondary trend line, well, maybe we can go for a re-entry to the upside here, all right? And if we do another takeout, well, then we'll know, just like before, that we were into a broadening wedge. You see that? So maybe we could also be into a broadening wedge, and this is just the what? The median of that broadening wedge, all right? So that's how you build up your analysis, all right? So remember, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. That means that maybe we could be having head and shoulders, neckline, breakout retest, and then creating the D, C, B. Dead cat bounce. Why? High, dead cat bounce, and rolling over. This is your neckline. So be careful right here. As long as we are below the zero line, it's not the time to start longing. So how do you trade this? All right, yeah, I'll see. Good to know, but I don't care about the analysis. I care about entry points, all right? You should be caring about analysis because, guys, what is better to make your own analysis and to not depend on anybody, right? So let's get started with our indicators. Now the perspective, it changes a little, right? Why does it change a little? Because we are right now on dynamic reactor. We are pretty bullish. We have pump and consolidation score, it's rising, all right? This is not an entry call, not just now. We need to see if we have some support. Do we? Some sort, maybe we are actually losing that support, so we could be even going for this area of entry, all right? So we'll see. Let's see. Do we have anything else? Oh, look at that. Another area of support and a whole bunch of resistances right there. Are they mostly bullish? Yes, but they're still resistances. So what could we be expecting of those? Well, then, going for liquidity, going up, bouncing down with not much of a strength, then breaking through those resistances because they're mostly bullish, right? And finally going to the next area of resistance, making a lower low, and then going up. You see how the structure it's building and it's revealing itself to you. So you already have not only one further movement to the upside, to the future, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 possible movements to the to be forecasted. All right. So important. That's how we calculated the previous trades. Right. Remember, those were XRP, Solana, and Ethereum. They played out fantastic. And also, the farther that we push it to the future, the more inaccurate it begins because it is just like weather. Little things might have a big enough push to slowly be diverging the price out, all right? So let's just wrap it up with a 4-hour analysis. Now that we have that, let's see what can we be seeing here, all right? Important, very, very important, it is the macro trend line, all right? We have the macro trend line here, all right, perfect. Same thing that we're expecting on Bitcoin, right? Remember, trying to break, not really, breakout retest, maybe double bottom, higher low. There you go, your entry point, breakout retest, off we go. So are we expecting maybe a secondary retest? Yes, but we still need to be very, very careful. Oh, sorry, let's go here. Let's remove everything. Here we go. Why? Because so far, we have made a lower high and also created a higher low, which creates a symmetrical triangle, all right? What does a symmetrical triangle tell you? Unknown breakout or 50-50 chances to break, all right? So the next thing that we need to look at, of course, is our prime score and how are we doing on volume. We keep making higher lows on volume, so I do expect a retracement to the trend line and then a further continuation to then take the previous highs. And we'll have to make that next analysis again. Again, as you can see, it paired almost exactly at what we were talking about on the 15 minutes. All right, so we still have 10 more minutes to go, guys. A quick reminder to click that like button, guys. It really helps to spread the love. Hey, MJ, what's up? Maho Move, send you lots of hearts here live. By the way, that's my fiance. So shout out to MJ. We'll see. Let's see. What else do we have here? Any other requests, guys? If I have missed that request, please let me know. Post it once again, and I'll be more than happy to do so. So, by the way, BC Port Carp, welcome, Lunar Beaches Crypto. Welcome, brother. Hi, how are you guys? So, we'll see. What else? ADA, perfect. We already have taken ADA. Ethereum, we talked about Ethereum, perfect. What else am I missing, guys? What else am I missing? AAVE, perfect, BC Port Corp. What time frame, my friend? MJ, Mrs. OC, absolutely. We're getting there. We're getting there. So let's see. There we go. Much better. So right here we already are in AAVE. We seems like we did have here a strategy. Remember, let's even visit this because this is from out of a range how you trade the inside trade, right? And bear in mind that we're following the exact same analysis process that we just did, right? Look at that. Oh, my bad. There we go. What we had in here, but I'm missing something. Double top, right? Enough to start creating a trend line here, right? Then what we got? Double bottom, breakout retest, then higher low, right? Higher high, perfect. Where is your entry point? It is right there. And off we go. So now that we're up, what are we missing or what are we expecting? Either a continuation with higher lows, right? Or a breakout of that structure. What happening here? We broke the structure and guess what? Let's go back and give it all back down. So another important thing that we see, it is an inverted head and shoulders with a cricket neckline, breakout retest. Off we go for then a fake out and then a ton of volatility. I don't like that volatility, but still, let's now that we have seen that everything kind of like plays out the exact same way, let's start dropping some lines in here. So first things first, trend lines, all right? 1 point, 2 points, maybe 3 and 4. Maybe I can be a little bit, there we go. Maybe I can give myself a little slack in here to start taking these other 2 points. There we go. Seems like we are in resistance. We are below the zero line. We are below dynamic reactor. We're very bearish. But there's something happening. You see it. Bullish divergence breaking above the zero line. So what does that mean? It means that we're going to have a rejection, but it's not going to be a long-lasting rejection. All right. So what can I do? Maybe I can look into this itty bitty piece and then start looking for breakouts. So what am I going to be doing? Maybe adding this trend line here. We'll visit that in the lower time frames. But so far, I don't think that we're going to be breaking it until we go back into some support, then create a high, low. My bad. Let's fix that. All right, low and higher low. We need to put in a higher low to start creating that secondary trend line where we're going to be driving the next power punch out from, if that makes sense. All right, so far this is what I see. Let's see if that theory, right? Because remember, we are trying to apply the theory of trends into this price action. Let's see if I have the means to back that up. All right, so we got the theory. Now let's see if we have the actual means. So far looking bearish on this indicator. Oh, look at that. Where is my support line? Look at that. The one that I was just looking at with my eyes. What is it? We have it right here being plotted by Chart Prime. Chart Prime always that precise. Loved it. So we also have a buffering zone. All right. What is buffering zone? Previous week low. And also we have, look at this, an automated trend line. Almost the exact same that we were drawing ourselves. All right. So seems like so far we do have the means to back that up. Look at that. Then daily support and resistance better. So double supporting here. Well, then area of ranging right here, which means that I could have maybe 2 or 3 candles before the breakout goes there. Maybe a double bottom pattern or something like that. What else do I got? So we'll see another predictive range. We need to start seeing this order block migrate downwards. All right. So that's going to be it. I think we have the means to call this a possible long scenario right here. I'm going to be setting up my alerting here. Stop loss is going to be, let's call it below this low and then give myself a little slack. TP number 1, TP number 3. Let's add them. All right. So it's going to be TP number 1, TP number 2 on the order blocking here. And then finally, TP number 3, the top of the order block, all right? Remember, early profits, move your stop loss to entry, let it ride to TP number 2, and then trail it to TP number 3. So far, that's all that we have time for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining. If you guys are part of Chart Prime, I see you guys in the next class. If not, don't worry. go ahead, subscribe to the Piper Academy Discord, subscribe to the chat or to the Discord on Chart Prime. It is free on Chart Prime, the Discord. Not all of the channels, of course, but you can see me there, and also you will see Piper, Alexa Crypto, and a bunch more of analysts. So guys, hopefully you are enjoying your day. Hopefully you can make a profit out of this week. And also, as always, see you guys tomorrow.
Dude!